Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for joining us on a special slimmed down version. It's a Thanksgiving special with just Dylan and Bill on the Engine Room podcast brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. Just because it's a holiday week does not mean crypto markets are closed. No, sir. Bill, talk to us about what's going on with Japan basically saying, we see you, crypto, we acknowledge you.
Yes, so big Japanese banks are in. Now, let me back up a second. When we say big Japanese banks, we mean really big. Japanese banks are huge, huge players in financial markets. And the Japanese have a complex financial system where, they were kind of the original money printers, right? They had to do it to survive. But when big Japanese banks go, hey, we're getting involved in crypto, what they're really saying is, hey, we need a currency hedge. We need to make sure that not only are we involved, but hey, maybe we can make our own currency in case there's a problem with government currencies. I seem to remember that in a white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto.
Mm-hmm.
So the Japanese banks, right. Whoever that is, the Japanese banks have read the white paper and they're off to build, frankly, a better crypto robot, right?
Yeah.
A better cryptocurrency. They're like, hey, we need to do our own thing because you know what? Those banks are that big. They start pooling together. That's that's news
I like
no one's
this story
paying
because
attention to.
it fits everything we know about Japan as a very technology friendly society, and as early adopters. And let's even throw in a face mask joke. They were doing it before it was cool.
Right.
So Japan is in. Who's next? I'm looking at you, Moldova.
Right. Actually, somebody in Europe is going to be next. France. Somebody worried about the European Union.
Sure.
Seriously.
Seems inevitable, as all things. Bill, we can't let another episode of a crypto podcast go by without talking about the Metaverse and Sandbox in particular.
That's right.
Talk to us about your Sandbox story here.
Oh my God. So I'm using tokenmetrics.com. This is actually not a shill. This is like the real deal, right? I got my own YouTube show now 5 days a week, right? And I'm using tokenmetrics.com hard because I know that the metaverse is going to be like a major investing theme and a mega trend. This goes back to from the days of legacy when, investment banks would compete with each other by saying, ooh, who can identify the big trend? Who can make some big gaudy call and then have it be out of consensus and come true? Not easy, right? So I'm like, oh, it's got to be the metaverse. I watched Ready Player One, I don't know, 2 weeks after I thought of this idea. And I'm on my live stream and I'm charting Sandbox. I'm like, wow, this looks strong. If this thing dips to 2.5 or maybe 2, maybe you get involved for the start of a big move. And some guy, if you're out there, bless you. Because this guy came in and commented and said, there's no way sand is going to go to 2. And I was like, oh my God. When I looked at the chart after he said that, I'm like, this thing's got one dip and then it's going to go. And, fortunately for me, my Thanksgiving wish, Sandbox is up 20% today. Decentraland is up. The hedge funds are in. Retail is in. YouTube is in. Okay. I was like, hey, maybe Sandbox can go from 5 billion to 10 billion in market cap. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like 2017 all over again, except it's in a micro niche part of the market. So, my live stream today will be the sand plan, right? Because everyone wants in. All right. So good news is I was early. Okay. That's good. And that can also be a stressor because now everyone's like, okay, well, it's up 50%. I want to get in. Where do I buy?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I always appreciate that you're able to synthesize information about the metaverse in particular, because this is going to be a dominant theme for not just weeks, but many, many months to come. The big promise nowadays is that, Ready Player One is right around the corner. Meanwhile, it seems like a lot of the crypto games are just different versions of the same thing we already have. Can't wait to see Ready Player One when we have a lot of Ataris around these days. Looking forward to that next big leap in some sort of immersive thing. Especially if there's a crypto angle. Hey guys, it's Thanksgiving week. Hug your families and eat a big piece of turkey if you're American, and maybe even if you're not. But at any rate, let's conclude this one, Bill. Thanks for joining us again. Episode of the Engine Room during Thanksgiving week. Bill and Dylan are out.